I am Sam, 32 years old, a psychiatrist. I can say that I am successful and well-known in my field, and I am proud of myself and everything I have achieved. I used to think my life was perfect and that I knew everything. After all, I am a psychiatrist. I've delved deep into the human psyche and can understand the reasoning behind every action people around me take. I analyze their reactions, discern their motives, and interpret the unspoken meanings behind their words. Honestly, I have a natural talent for this, and perhaps that's what helped me succeed in my field and build a reputation, despite not having decades of experience. To many, my life is a dream. My income is excellent, allowing me to afford all the luxuries anyone my age could desire. I'm not married or in a relationship, to be frank, and I don't plan to be. I live a quiet life with only two things occupying my mind: my work and the gym. But I had no idea that in less than 20 days, everything I've lived would turn into a story, and everything I've built would be destroyed. I didn't see it coming. Welcome to our channel. If you enjoyed this story and want to keep the chills coming, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support helps us continue. Every like, comment, and share means the world to us and allows us to bring you even more terrifying tales. So if you're ready to stay up at night and keep the fear alive, subscribe now and become part of our family. Now let's see what this episode has to say. Good evening. Please come in. Mr. Henry, would you like to sit here or on the couch? No, here is fine. All right, Mr. Henry, what's the issue? Nightmares. They haunt me constantly. I never used to have a problem with them, but 2 months ago, I got married, and unfortunately, my wife has a big issue with me because of them. Go on, I'm listening. The nightmares make me wake up screaming. Before, when I lived in a separate house with no neighbors, the loud screaming wasn't a huge crisis. But now that I'm married and living in an apartment building, the neighbors have heard me multiple times. They don't understand what's happening, and since it's always at night, the noise disturbs them. They've started giving my wife strange looks and treating me like there's something wrong with me. I've tried everything: sleep exercises, relaxation techniques, yoga, just like it says online, but nothing helps, and unfortunately, no one understands. I'm not about to go around explaining my condition or describing my dreams to people. The neighbors have started whispering things to my wife when they see her at the building entrance, and it's caused huge problems between us. Right now, I've left her the apartment and moved back in with my father. I know it might seem trivial, but the truth is, this is the only issue between me and my wife. There's absolutely nothing else causing tension. It's not trivial at all, but don't worry, we'll solve it together. The first step is you being here, talking about it. That means there's hope. Of course there's hope. We just need to find the cause behind these nightmares, and they will stop. How will we figure that out? Well, let's start by talking about your daily life, step by step. I need to understand your routine, your relationships, the things that stress you. There's nothing specific that stresses me out, but like anyone, I don't like darkness, loneliness, or loud noises. Those are the things that unsettle me, and I try to avoid them. Great. And what about your work? How do you spend your day? I'm a decor engineer at a foreign company. I mostly work remotely, either from home or a co-working space, quiet places with nothing stressful. My job takes up most of my day, so I don't have much time for anything else. I usually spend the rest of my time at home exercising or reading novels. I love reading. Excellent. Now, do you remember anything from the nightmares? They're repetitive. I usually don't know where I am or what the place is, but I feel terrified. I see myself in a strange place with many people being tortured, screaming, in pain. I'm tied up, forced to watch, and I feel like my heart will burst from fear. I'm scared of them, scared for them, and scared it'll be my turn next. People being tortured? How? They're beaten, wounded, electrocuted. Horrible things happening to them, like they're in a prison. I don't know why I'm seeing them, who's doing this to them, or why I'm tied up too. Every time, I feel like I'm being tortured as well, but no, nothing happens to me. The screams in my ears are unbearable. I want to save myself and save them, but then I wake up exhausted, like I've been running for miles. My heart is pounding, and I'm terrified. Sometimes I can't even tell if I'm awake or still in the dream. It's a horrific nightmare. I'll prescribe you a mild sedative to help you sleep better. Next time, we'll continue. Our time's up for today. Mr. Henry, don't forget to call tomorrow to schedule your next session with the nurse. He said, "Of course, doctor," and he leave. I don't know how I listened to him and kept my composure. How did I control myself like that? How? What he described, I've had the exact same dream, down to every detail. What does this mean? How is this even possible? Shared delusions? No, something's wrong. I've never told anyone about this dream. How? I barely held myself together, got up, and left for home. I was supposed to go to the gym, but I couldn't. My nerves couldn't take it. I couldn't stop thinking about what I'd heard today, unable to process what was said in the session with Henry. How can someone else have the same dream? I changed my clothes and collapsed onto the bed. I needed to shut my mind off. I need to silence all the questions in my head so I can sleep. I will sleep and wake up better. Of course, I was feeling intense pain in my shoulder, arm, and leg. I felt like I couldn't stand up. I opened my eyes and looked at my arm. I was carrying iron weights and standing in a strange position. I let go where I was standing, one leg stretched forward and the other spread out to the side. I looked around and saw many people standing like me. The place looked strange with guards around, and my hands were hurting a lot. I felt a terrible burning sensation in my shoulders and knees. My face was sweating heavily, and the sweat was dripping into my eyes, burning them badly. I woke up from the dream and looked around. I had been having a nightmare, one of those nightmares that come to me often. One of the recurring nightmares. I know I am a psychologist and have tried many times to treat myself, but I haven't been able to. I've tried to understand the secret behind these nightmares, but not once did I figure it out. But this time, I was feeling everything more intensely. I felt the pain, the fear, even the salty taste of the sweat running down my face. I tried to calm down and drank some water. I opened the drawer next to me, took the sleeping pill I take when these nightmares come, just to fall deeply asleep and not feel anything. In the days that followed, I tried to forget what happened and forget about Henry altogether. Honestly, I no longer understand why and how he appeared in my life at this time, and how he says things no one else in the whole world knows except me. Every day I take medication that ensures I sleep deeply and don't wake up. And to a large extent, it has been effective until a week passed after the last session. As I was looking at the appointment schedule, I asked the secretary to set an appointment for Henry to be the last session, because I was sure that if this time turned out like the previous one, I wouldn't be able to see anyone after he leaves. I was feeling anxious and tense just by seeing his name written in front of me, unsure how to face him during this session. "How are you, Mr. Henry?" "Thanks be to God, doctor. I think I'm sleeping well, but unfortunately, I'm still having the same nightmares." "Well, when did these nightmares start?" "I don't remember exactly, but it's been since a long time ago, maybe since middle school. And they recur daily?" "No, not daily, but whenever I experience stress at work or tension, they come to me. But normal stresses, like being late on a project delivery or having an argument with someone on the street. Ordinary things, not major issues." All right, let's continue. Last time you talked about a nightmare where you see people being tortured and you're tied up, unable to react. Do you remember any other nightmares? Yes, definitely. Usually I wake up from that nightmare with a headache and my heart aching from the terror. It might be the reason why I hate darkness now. When I open my eyes in a dark place, I can't see anything. Not a single ray of light. Even when I raise my hand in front of my face to see it, I can't see anything. There's no sound either. When I try to talk or shout, I feel like my voice is being sucked away, as if there's a vacuum pulling my voice. So there's no sound at all. I try to move in the place, but I'm scared. I try to get close to the walls so I can touch something, perhaps to find out where I am or locate the door to get out. But I can't find anything. I feel like I'm going in circles, scared and unable to move, unable to do anything. Trapped in a place I don't recognize and can't see anything, as if I fell into a deep hole and can't get out. Every time I wake up frightened or suffocated, this dream repeats frequently. Sometimes I feel like somehow I've lived through this experience, but no. I mean, obviously not. How could I live through it? Where would I live it, and how? It's impossible. All right, so what time is your session today? Done? Can you set the time for your next session outside with the secretary and keep taking the same medications I prescribed for you? Correct, yes, Henry. Have you seen this nightmare before? I don't know how, but yes, I've seen this dream with all its details. Every time I wake up from it, I feel pain in my head as if those pulses are still happening to me. How, doctor? How can our nightmares be the same? What I know is that nightmares come from the subconscious mind. How can both of us have the same dreams? I've tried to research and read a lot to understand, but I haven't found any explanation other than the one closest to what's happening. And what is this explanation? That we both lived through these experiences. How? I don't remember any of this happening to me in reality. Plus, the first time I saw you was 2 weeks ago when you came for your first session based on recommendations from people on an app. This whole situation is just a coincidence. I know and am certain of that, but I don't mean that we lived through these experiences recently. Look, when I focused and tried to see myself in any of the nightmares I saw myself but as a child, probably around middle school age. And that's the same time you said these nightmares started for you. I also tried to focus to determine when these nightmares began and found they started in the same period. Well, exactly. This most likely means that we really did live through these experiences, but before the nightmares appeared. But I don't remember living through any of this, nor do I. Unfortunately, there's no other explanation. Well, how can we confirm that this explanation is correct? There's nothing else but to ask our families. Today I'm going to my parents' house to ask them. Are you going to ask them? What will you say? I don't even know what to say if I think to ask. Professor Hazem, I don't know what to say. Just leave it to its own devices. What will you do? Will you ask your family? Actually, I'm already sitting with my father at home. Yes, certainly I'll ask him. All right, if I find out or reach anything, I'll call you. And if I find anything, I'll call you. I left the clinic that day and went to my parents' house, but I didn't find anyone there. I was surprised because they don't usually go out much. I thought I'd wait until they returned, so I went to my room and searched through my old belongings, hoping to remember something. Indeed, I went to the room and spent a long time searching for something. Anything. In truth, I didn't even know what I was looking for, but I kept searching until my eyes fell upon my photo album. I began flipping through it. My dad had a great love for photography and cameras. He was the first in his family to buy a personal camera and was always responsible for taking pictures at any event. Because of that, he made a separate album for each of us. Each album contained photos from when we were newborns until graduation, and even included wedding photos of those who got married, along with photos of their children and grandchildren. I smiled, picked up the album, and began leafing through it. Many memories came back to me until I reached my 12th birthday page. The next page was supposed to have a picture of me next to the cake, like every year, with the number 12. But the number on the cake was 13. How? I mean, Dad never missed a birthday without taking a picture of each of us next to the cake. I flipped through all the pictures in the album and didn't find any photo of the cake with the number 12 on it. Then I noticed my father and mother's voices outside. They returned. I went out and greeted them. Where have you been? Oh dear, your uncle invited us to celebrate his daughter's engagement. Fine, sit down and eat. We all sat down for dinner, and I found it was the perfect opportunity to ask about the album. Dad, I was in my room and found my photo album. Yeah, hopefully we'll add your wedding and kids' photos to it soon. Anyway, I found photos of all my birthdays, but I noticed the photo from my 12th birthday was missing. Where is it? Right, your 12th birthday. Don't you remember? There must have been a reason we didn't do it. What? What's that, Mark? Did you forget or what? That year, Omar was sick, and we couldn't celebrate his birthday. Oh yeah, I remember. You had measles with visible red spots all over your face, and you refused to be photographed. So we didn't want to upset you and skip the photo. Correct. By the way, what gift did your sister get for her birthday? Her fiancé spoiled her. 2 weeks later, I continued the conversation with my dad and mom, while pretending not to notice the tension and nervous glances between them, all filled with worry. Even the way my dad changed the subject was evident. They thought I hadn't noticed, but due to my profession, I understood they were avoiding answering, especially since I vividly remember having measles that year. But I wasn't 12. I was 10 in the middle of the school year, and I took a leave so I wouldn't infect any classmates. My birthday is in August, right in the peak of summer vacation. That evening at my parents', I concluded and went home, deciding to call Henry in the morning to learn what he discovered. But I found him calling me, wanting to meet. I couldn't go down, so I decided to send him my home address so he could come over. Luckily, his house was close to mine, so he arrived within about 15 minutes. "Please come in, Henry." "Thank you, doctor. Sorry for calling you at such a late hour." "No, not at all. There's no problem. Tell me, what would you like to drink?" No need for anything. We'll finish our conversation quickly, and I'll leave. Look, I'm making excellent coffee. Give me a minute, and it'll be ready. Please, Henry." "Thank you very much, doctor. You said you'd go to your parents to ask them. Did you find out anything?" "I don't know if it's significant, but while flipping through my photo album, I couldn't find a picture from my 12th birthday. That's strange because my dad loves taking pictures, especially during important events. When I asked him and my mom, they displayed unexplained anxiety and gave vague answers. Honestly, I don't know the reason for all this. I also tried to ask my father, but he avoided answering. Even when I showed him this, he acted as if he didn't know. It was obvious he knew. He was clearly hiding something from me. What is this? Future camp. What does it mean? I don't know. I thought I'd bring it. Maybe you recall something. I've never been to any camps. Never been to any camps. Well, what did your dad say when you asked him about it? He told me that I used to love pacifiers and once found one at the club while playing, picked it up and took it. Yes, I love pacifiers. Did you try to search for the name of this camp? I did, but I couldn't find anything named like that except one camp, probably for programming, and it was for older age groups. Even the logo was entirely different from the one on this pacifier. All right, let's keep searching. I don't know how. We spent the entire day until around 6 a.m. searching for any information that could lead us to future camp, but unfortunately the result was zero. Suddenly, while we were sitting, Henry said, "Look, isn't that the same logo?" Enlarge the picture. The quality is very poor, but I think it's the same logo. Finally, click on this link. Let's see where it leads. It's a TikTok account. Let's open it and see. Hazim opened the account in front of us, and what we saw was the strangest thing anyone could imagine. A person sitting on a chair in a dark room with a light directed onto their face, but only their eyes were visible. They wore a mask covering their entire head and held something over their face. Their voice sounded altered, as if processed by something unnatural. This person was talking about psychological experiments they underwent when they were young, and how these experiments profoundly affected them, causing numerous problems they couldn't overcome. There were many videos with the same narrative, and he urged anyone who had experienced similar things to contact him. However, all the comments accused him of madness and disbelief in anything he said. In one of the videos where he spoke, he was holding a cap, and on it was the same logo as the one on Henry's pacifier, with Future Camp written on it. We talked a lot, trying to decide whether to contact this man or not. Henry was afraid, but I felt this man had real issues. I wasn't sure if contacting him would benefit us or not, because it was clear he had some sort of disorder, evident in his speech and mannerisms. Henry sent a message to this mysterious man, and within 30 seconds we received a reply. As soon as Henry sent him a photo of the pacifier with the logo of the camp, the man sent us a location for one of the public gardens and requested to meet us. Henry hesitated, but I felt this might be a good opportunity to uncover something. Even if we didn't get any information, we wouldn't lose anything. The meeting was set for 1 hour later at 7 a.m., which seemed quite early for anyone to meet. We agreed that I would stay nearby in case the mysterious man did anything suspicious, but I shouldn't appear immediately in the picture to avoid alarming him further and making him more agitated, possibly refusing to talk at all. Henry reluctantly agreed, and we headed to the location. We arrived 5 minutes early, and after a while, a person appeared from the distance, wearing the same jacket and covering his face and head, just like in the videos. As agreed, he wore a mask. As soon as he spotted Henry, he sat next to him. Show me the pacifier. Here it is in my hand. How did you get it? I don't know. I have no idea. Do you remember what happened at the camp? I don't remember anything. What made you search for nightmares? You also have nightmares? Not just me. Who else? My doctor, he also has the same nightmares. Your doctor? What do you mean? I'm undergoing treatment with a psychologist, and when I told him about the nightmares, he said he has the same ones too. He recounted things I never told him. Where is this doctor? We need to go see him. Wait, he's here. I'll signal for him to come. Good morning. We can't continue our conversation here. We need to move now. Where are we going? With me? Yes, with us. Come with us. Follow me. Are you confident in this man? I don't know, doctor, but there are two of us and one of him. He can't do anything to us. All right. What is this house? What is this place? I don't even know the place. There's only his house here, apparently. Look, he's turning around strangely. Why doesn't he go down? He's signaling us. As soon as we entered the house of this strange man, he locked the door, removed the mask from his face, and took off the cap. He apologized for the way he brought us here, knowing he took a lot of precautions, but he had to ensure no one was following us. He introduced himself, and Henry said to him, "Can you explain why you brought us here? Because what I'm about to say cannot be discussed in any place." Why? Because for over 10 years, I've been searching for any information to understand what happened to us when we were young. I couldn't believe finding you, and I couldn't believe finding someone who experienced what I went through and lived through what I experienced. I wish to find just one person who would believe me. I can't comprehend that you are here in front of me. You said you've been searching for 10 years. What did you find? Unfortunately, I haven't found anything conclusive. The most I can do is analyze what happened. And what is your analysis? I'm almost sure that I, along with others, were part of an experiment. What was the nature of the experiment, or what happened to us in it? I don't know, but there's no other explanation. And what is your analysis based on? On fragmented memories, unclear but present. There are many things I remember that confirm what I'm saying. Also, bits of an old website with the same name remain. Come, let's see what's written. Future camp for preparing future leaders based on scientific experiments guaranteed. What does that mean? There's no specific information about this camp on the website. Only phone numbers remain, but most of them no longer exist. When I tried to look them up, I found no trace in the phone directory. So we're back to square one. There's only one more thing. What is it? A photo of people who I believe worked at the camp, all wearing the same cap with the camp's logo and insignia. What are you waiting for? Open it, enlarge it, move it to the right, enlarge it again. Omar, do you recognize anyone? I'm not sure. He looks young, but I don't know if it's him. Who is it? It's Dr. Jack, one of the professors who supervised my master's thesis. Yes, hold on. I have his photo on my phone. Surely if there's a resemblance, it's him. Send the photo to the device, and I'll verify if it's him. He sent the photo as Mark requested, and he placed both photos into a program I've never seen before. It resembled facial recognition software I've seen in American police series. The program started calculating percentages and confirmed a match between the two photos. We all sat there shocked, trying to think about our next step. Henry said we needed to talk to Dr. Jack, and both Jack and I agreed. But how? How would we approach him? Would he even tell us the truth? I told him I would go and try to talk to him, and if I couldn't get any information, we would think of another plan. Mark visibly showed he wasn't convinced with what I was saying, but he didn't say anything. I went to Dr. Jack's clinic and waited outside until he came out. At that moment, I asked him to go somewhere to talk, and he agreed because he knew me well and assumed it was related to research I was working on or a job-related matter. But as soon as I started talking about the camp, the photos, and the nightmares, I sensed a change in him. He completely refused to talk and said that all these were just delusions in my mind. Then he left without any preamble. I quickly calculated and ran after him, but I encountered the strangest thing possible. I found Henry escorting Dr. Jack into a car. Mark ran towards them to understand what was happening, but Mark told me to get in the car and follow them. We arrived at Mark's house after taking countless detours, as if we were fleeing from something I didn't understand. Could you explain what happened? Calm down, doctor. I was sure that the man wouldn't tell you anything, and Henry and I bet that he would leave the cafe within less than 10 minutes because he would dodge the conversation and not tell you anything. Sam, there was no other solution but to bring him here and talk to him, even if it meant forcing him. Henry, you're insane. You followed Henry. Do you understand what you've done? You kidnapped him. This is a crime. Our futures could be ruined if you're not careful about your future, Henry. I'm worried about you, Henry. Aren't you concerned about your future and life? Henry was about to respond when we heard a noise coming from the room. We all entered and found Dr. Jack awake and visibly frightened because his hands were tied. Naturally, he was scared. Henry approached him, removing the tape they had placed on him, and said, "You're not kidnapped, doctor. Just answer a few questions and you can leave. But if you don't tell the truth, I swear I'll kill you. And no one will find you, not even after 100 years. What do you want from me? You kidnapped me, Sam. It's none of your business, doctor." "Jack, I'm the one who kidnapped you, and I'm ready to kill you if you don't talk." "What do you want?" "I know this photo." Yes, I know it." "Beautiful. Where was this photo taken?" "I don't remember. I was young, obviously not remembering much." "Dr. Jack, you're not telling the truth. You remember well. I won't repeat my threat many times. And to make you believe me, here's the gun in my pocket. If you're tired of life and want to end it, keep denying it. Please, I'm like your father, Omar. This shouldn't happen, my son. I told you, Omar has nothing to do with this. Talk to me. I want to know everything about this photo, where it was taken and what this place is. What happened in this photo? 20 years ago, I had just earned my doctorate in behavioral modification through experimental psychology. At that time, I received an invitation from an institution called Future, a global organization that wanted to establish a camp in the city. The camp aimed to prepare leaders. The participants were all psychologists and therapists specializing in behavior and awareness. The target group for the experiment was children aged 12 years. Awareness and behavior. What does that mean? What happened in this camp? The camp focused on training students to occupy leadership positions in the future. They were subjected to various experiments designed to enhance their intelligence levels, awareness, and skills. At the end, there was a selection process to identify the children who couldn't continue, aiming to qualify 1 or 2 participants from each batch. What was the nature of these experiments, Doctor? Jack, I don't remember. I don't remember. It's clear that you don't remember. Would you like to see the gun in my pocket to help you remember? Enough. Those experiments were numerous. In each experiment, they tried to stimulate a particular response. For example, there was an experiment to stimulate fear and another for empathy, among others. No, that's not acceptable, Doctor. You need to explain these experiments right now, Sam. Please don't dirty my carpet with your blood. All right, I'll tell you. There was an experiment to stimulate fear. The goal was to measure the children's ability to control their fear and overcome trauma. Simultaneously, the children learned to control their reactions. Continue. How were the children placed in dark rooms and exposed to loud noises, fluctuating lighting, and mild electric shocks that increased slightly while monitoring their brain activity simultaneously? Another experiment tested physical and mental endurance. Children were subjected to pain in small increments over long periods, such as lifting light weights for extended durations in specific postures or taking ice baths for prolonged periods. The aim was to measure the participants' capacity to endure pain, assessing their psychological resilience and readiness for difficult situations. Another experiment involved sensory isolation, placing the children in dark rooms with soundproofing for extended periods to evaluate their tolerance for isolation and their ability to control their minds during tough times. What else? Proceed. There was neurostimulation therapy involving sessions applying electricity to specific areas of the brain to enhance the children's intelligence and skills. Another experiment involved exposing the children to difficult scenes of people being tortured, observing their reactions to develop their empathy and emotional regulation. You are criminals. You cannot be human. Never. Wait, Henry. And how did we forget all this? How are we unable to remember all these things except in nightmares? Simply because every participant underwent a final experiment before leaving the camp, an experiment that erased their memory of the camp. How? How do you erase memory? We implanted new memories in the children's minds to confuse all their recollections about the camp, ensuring they remembered nothing upon leaving. How many children participated in this crime? How many children suffered psychologically? 42 children. But the camp lasted only 1.5 seasons before shutting down. After the parents of the children from the first season complained and threatened to file official reports against the institution and the camp due to what happened to their children, the camp closed permanently and everything about it was erased. They couldn't do anything because they had signed confidentiality agreements. If they disclosed anything, they would have faced hefty fines. They weren't even allowed to tell the children themselves what had happened to them. Why? Why did they complain? A large percentage of the children experienced a state akin to dissociation from reality, becoming fearful of everything and lacking confidence in anyone. Additionally, some children developed physical problems, experiencing seizures. Unfortunately, most of the children who participated in the camp developed hallucinations, behavioral changes, and some even conversed with people who weren't there in reality. Moreover, one child developed epilepsy due to the electric shocks and tragically died during one of the episodes. You cannot be human. You must be monsters. Impossible to have a heart in humanity. Impossible. Now you know everything you wanted to know. Let me go, please. There's nothing else I can tell you. How could you do this to children, Doctor? Believe me, Sam, I didn't know all this would happen or that the effects would last until now. Besides, I was seeking glory and knowledge. If the camp had continued and the experiment succeeded, I would have been in a very different place. I swear, even if it cost me my life, you and everyone who participated in this filth, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm willing to offer any compensation you request. Anything you want to do, just let me know. If I leave here, Henry, will you report us? No, I swear I won't report you. I understand your reasons, and I see that you were wronged. You have a right, and I understand that you did this to find out the truth. I'm not angry with you anymore. I won't do anything. I'll leave here and go home as if nothing happened. Believe me, I won't do anything. I made a mistake against you and others a long time ago, and I can't repeat that mistake again. Today, unfortunately, we decided to let him go. I took him in my car and dropped him off at the beginning of the road. From there, he can call any taxi or find any ride to get home. I returned to Henry's house and we all sat there, not knowing what to say or how to think about facing society after all we had learned. How would we confront our families who agreed to put us through such an experiment, and none of them chose to reveal what happened? A mix of anger, fear, and oppression. Feelings hard for anyone to comprehend all at once. Suddenly, while we were sitting, Hamza shouted and told us to get up immediately. What's wrong, my son? What happened? Look at the screen. Who are they? Surely Dr. Jack reported us. But they aren't wearing police uniforms. They're wearing the same uniform as the one in the photo, with the same logo on their chest. Didn't he say the camp was closed? We can't just sit here analyzing while they're already inside. Come with me, quickly. Henry took us to a room in his house, opened a wardrobe built into the room, and removed a small rug revealing a metal door beneath. He opened it and told us to go down. We descended one after another, and Henry came down last. After closing the door, he pulled a rope, saying he would replace the rug. We went underground and walked a long distance. The place below was very peculiar. All the corridors looked alike and were extremely narrow. Finally, we reached a staircase, climbed up, and Henry opened a door similar to the one at his house. We emerged into another wardrobe, but this time in a small apartment. God knows where we were. Henry explained that he had known this would happen someday and had prepared everything for this day. Currently, we are in Henry's strange apartment, located in an area I can't disclose. Unfortunately, I don't know if we can leave this apartment or if we can survive outside. All I know is that Dr. Jack lied, and the future camp is still operational, and there are many others like us. Finally, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to receive updates.